World Bank estimates there are nearly 85 million teachers worldwide, more than half of them women. Several studies, like the one from the Center for Global Development, suggest female teachers enhance students' motivation to learn. But while teaching has become a female-dominated job in most of the world, female teachers are still minorities in Africa. Hello everyone, welcome to Our Voices. I'm Semenyi Shekoye, and with me in the studio are my co-hosts Orian Itangishaka and Ginny Niwa.
Hi everyone.
Today, in line with World Teachers' Day, celebrated annually on October 5th, we will be discussing the need for gender equitable learning environments and why women teachers are especially matter for girls' educational success. Hello, ladies.
Hello. I love this topic. It's like, thinking about the mom at school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the mom and the dad. I mean, I remember my high school, my elementary teachers who really had impacted me in so many ways. But this particular one, she helped me, look up to her. She helped me build self-confidence. She helped me believe in myself, because I remember she used to encourage me, read in class, you are good at doing this. And I think she contributed to who I am today. Do you have any?
Yeah, that's funny because I almost have the same story. My first grade teacher, and I just remember that recently because, people tell me, you read good, you sound good in French. And I was like, how come, I have this love of reading out loud and, liking my voice. And I remember that was my first grade teacher. She would tell me, read. She would give me A, and she would like my voice, reading. So that made me like my voice. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
I mean, as a child, we need this kind of affirmation.
I mean, the teacher has to be nice. And it's really special when you have a teacher who inspires you to do what you're doing today. You're looking back. For me, I have a teacher in high school. Back before that, I didn't really pay attention. But in high school, I had a teacher. She was so great, Miss Clore. And she, I don't like math, but she made me like math. I wasn't so good at math, but, I can go back and see how in high school she was so tender with me. At that age, I was just like, oh my God, this course is so hard. But she made it very easy for me. And, I had a lot of other women teachers. And so I appreciated the fact that they just have that money.
It's worse in conflict-affected areas where armed groups often terrorize female teachers as well as students. This has an important implication, especially for enrollment and retention of female students in school. Various studies show girls perform better in school when educated by female teachers because they help break gender role stereotypes and enable girls to aspire for better careers. On this week's episode of Our Voices, we will discuss why women are underrepresented in teaching professions and the challenge they face, as well as explore ways to improve gender imbalance in teaching and promote gender-sensitive learning environments.
Well, while the United Nations continue to stress the importance of female educators and the role they play in improving girls' education globally, shortage of female teachers are particularly acute in crisis and conflict areas. This was the case in Kenya when Al-Shabaab militants launched a series of deadly attacks in the country's predominantly northeastern Muslim region, forcing hundreds of non-local teachers to demand transfers to the other areas. Now, schools open on August 28th, but Ahmed Hassan reports from Wajir County that most students have not yet returned to the classrooms.
Here in Konton at a primary school in Kenya's Wajir County, teacher Ibrahim Hassan begins work. Hassan has volunteered to teach after most of the teachers left because of the recent attacks in the area by the Islamist militant group Al-Shabaab. He says the school turned some of the pupils away.
Since the students are many and we are so less, we can't teach it. Sometimes you send some children at the home.
Since 2014, more than 4,000 teachers have fled schools from the northeastern region due to insecurity. Al-Shabaab has killed 16 people in the region in the past 2 months, including 2 non-local teachers, and it has injured upwards of a dozen others. Many schools near the Somalia border, badly hit by the exodus, are on the brink of closure. Wajir County residents say the need is too great.
5 among the youth have volunteered themselves to take part in the teaching. We should continue teaching because of this, and as children who will become the leaders of tomorrow.
Over the past week, hundreds of teachers have been camping outside the office of the Teachers Service Commission, or TSC, in Nairobi, seeking transfer from the region.
We did an oath. We took an oath to work in every part of the country, but you cannot work in a place where death is waiting for you.
Power! Power!
Drawn from Mandera, Wajir and Garissa counties in the northeast, the teachers said they were not returning to duty until the employer moved them from the region.
We've been affected by a lack of security in our workplace. As you know, one of our colleagues was killed, and after we asked to be transferred, those responsible have turned down our request.
Last year, the Teachers Service Commission contracted most of the affected teachers who are required to work in the area for 3 to 5 years before seeking transfer. Schools reopened for the third term on August 28th, but most of the students in Kenya's northeast have not resumed classes because of the teacher exodus. Experts warn that the exodus could bring learning in the region to a complete halt and are asking the government to train more teachers.
One of the challenges the region faces is it's not able to attract good number of high school leavers with the right grades to join teaching. So the general belief is that if the teaching grade is lower to like C-, it might attract numbers.
The region has a history of violence involving teachers. 17 teachers died in 2014 after a bus they were traveling in was attacked while heading to Nairobi for the December holidays. In January 2020, TSC transferred tutors from northeastern Kenya to other parts of the country, citing insecurity after 3 of them were killed by Al-Shabaab during a night raid. Many parents from Kenya's northeastern region are hopeful a lasting solution will be found soon so the children can get access to quality education like the rest of the students in the country. Ahmed Hussein for VOA News, Wajir, Kenya.
While female teachers face different realities and challenges than their male counterparts, there are various efforts aimed at increasing their presence in classrooms. One involves forming Teachers Association that advocates for an improved teaching environment for women. Our guest today leads one of these associations in Kenya. Painter Opande is General Secretary and CEO of Kenya Women Teachers Association, a welfare organization that enhances the standard of living of women teachers by providing avenues for professional, economic, and personal development. Ms. Opande joins us via Skype from Nairobi. Ms. Opande, welcome to Our Voices.
Thank you very much. I'm honored.
We just saw a package where militant attacks are causing exodus of teachers, particularly in the northern eastern part of Kenya. How is that particularly for female teachers?
Thank you very much for that question. And actually, the video I've just watched has brought a lot of memories because when that happened, we had not started the association, and I was actually in charge of that program of receiving teachers who had run away from Northeastern. At that time, I was working in the Kenya National Union of Teachers as a senior executive officer. So I saw what happened, and the teachers, when they came to Nairobi, using whatever means they got, they had nowhere else to go. So we accommodated them at the NAT headquarters. NAT is Kenya National Union of Teachers, which is one of the unions in this country. So having been the senior executive officer in charge of that insecurity, activity, I requested my leaders to allow the teachers to sleep on the 6th floor. They had nowhere else to go. They had no money. So we bought for them mattresses, and I would cook at home and bring food sometimes. Mm-hmm. And the other officers would also do the same. Now the women teachers were there with the children, with mattresses, sleeping on the floor, and they had nowhere else to go. So something had to be done.
Yeah,
so it is true. I saw it.
Yeah, I wanted to know, is there anything else besides conflict that also discourage women teachers to teach?
Yes, there's a lot. Let me start from the fact that there's a new policy in my country where once you get to the position of a head teacher or a deputy head teacher, you are promoted and taken to a different place from where you stay. And you know, many teachers get married to fellow teachers when they are still in college. So several number of women teachers have refused to take up leadership positions because it is taking them away from their family.
That's
And yeah, that is one way. And another way is, you know, the stereotype, which we've talked about since time immemorial, and it is true. Many people think it's just a story, but you find that there are certain leadership positions which people think that women cannot manage, you know, to lead in those positions. And it happens even in the teaching profession, because you'll find that if you do the study, you'll find boarding schools or even or day schools where there are male students are all led by men who say the woman cannot lead a boarding, you know, a male school with male students. After all, we are mothers and we have sons, and you are the ones who have brought up these boys. So in this country, that still happens.
Thank you, Miss.
Yes.
Yeah, now we'll get back to you, but right now we'll take a pause. We are discussing the role of female teachers in Africa and ways to empower them. With us is Miss Benta Obande, General Secretary and CEO of Kenya Women Teachers Association. We'll continue our conversation, but first we'll love to hear from you about our topic and our voices in general via our social media platform. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, and our handle is at VOA Africa. Use the hashtag VOA Our Voices. We'll be right back.
When the world seems uncertain and what we hear doesn't reflect what we see, we seek the truth. When we are told only part of the story, we lose trust. In moments of crisis, our dreams, hopes, and wishes for a better tomorrow depends on a free press. At Voice of America, we bring you the stories that people take risks to see. We connect the world and unite it with truth. At Voice of America, we show you the whole picture.
You're watching VOA's Red Carpet. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. Thank you so much for joining us each week right here on Red Carpet. We bring you the latest in
health, wellness, sport, beauty, medical breakthroughs. Healthy Living cares about your well-being. What are the main health concerns in Africa and around the world? Find out the latest on coronavirus. Connect with our experts and ask them questions.
How long does the virus stay?
Join me, Lina Khmudu, in Washington every week on Healthy Living, right here on VOA.
and their role in shaping education on the continent, especially education in girls. Now, in Zambia, like in most countries in sub-Saharan Africa, female teachers provide role models for girls. recent report by the United Nations Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, as well as the United Nations Education and Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, revealed that female teachers play a crucial role in girls' education across the African continent as they help to bridge the gender gap in education. Kathy Short has this report from Lusaka, Zambia.
So when we are talking about children,
Josephine Mwaba has been a teacher for 22 years. She teaches biology at Lusaka's Kablonga Girls Secondary School. Mwaba said she enjoys teaching and understands the struggles female students go through.
So the challenges are that girls fall pregnant and sometimes they get married at an early stage. But being a female teacher, I encourage them not to get married early, not to fall pregnant, but to concentrate on school, because only when they get educated, then they will be able to make proper decisions and live an independent life.
Rebecca Kaira is a 15-year-old student at Kablonga Girls Secondary School. She's one of the many students taught by female teachers like Josephine Mwaba.
Female teachers mostly encourage us girls because they act as mothers as we are here at school. So they mostly encourage us girls to focus on education because I think, you know, they really bring out and highlight what really happens in the life of a girl if you don't actually get educated.
According to the Basic Education Teachers Union, which represents teachers in the public service in Zambia, most teachers prefer to teach in urban areas. This is a disadvantage for students in rural areas, especially girls. Mwangala Mulako is a director for gender at the Basic Education Teachers Union in Lusaka. She says most female teachers have upgraded their qualifications and want better pay.
They're feathered in their studies from maybe a certificate holder to a diploma holder or a degree holder, even as far as masters in different fields of education.
According to the Teaching Service Commission, a government agency, there are more than 190,000 teachers in Zambia, and at least 150,000 more teachers are needed to ensure quality and effective education for all students. UNICEF says it uses education research to address learning problems to ensure that every child gets quality education globally. Sonakshi Sharma, an education research specialist with UNICEF Innocenti Global Office of Research and Foresight, and working on Women in Learning Leadership Research. The Women in Learning Leadership is a joint initiative of International Institute for Planning, UNESCO Dakar, the Gender at the Center Initiative, and UNICEF Innocenti being implemented in several African countries. Sharma says emerging global evidence shows that female teachers play an important role in positive learning for girls.
So school leadership is an important vector to enhance student learning because they play a critical role in creating a high-quality teaching and learning environment within schools, and this can contribute to overall student learning outcomes and well-being.
According to UNICEF, Africa faces the world's worst teacher shortage. The continent still needs at least 17 million more teachers if it is to achieve universal primary and secondary education by 2030, and more female teachers are needed now more than ever. Kathy Short for VOA News, Lusaka, Zambia.
Thank you for that report, Ms. Opande. We are coming back to you as a teacher yourself and as also the leader of the Kenyan Women Teacher Association. Why do you say it's important to have more female teachers in the sector? Is it only to empower girls, or why is it important?
Thank you for that question. It is so important that we have more female teachers in the sector, because number one, women teachers act as mothers. So it is mothers for not only girls, even for the boys. And there are things that women teachers can discuss with the girls and the boys, which they cannot talk to, to the our male counterparts. Why? Because being a woman, we are more trusted, because of the placenta language. So we are a strong change agent. And also, because I know, even if we talk about the insecurity areas, you find that every time there's an attack in a school, the students run to the female teachers. The male teachers run away to hide because they are targeted more. So the female teachers do not only play the role of teaching. We are actually nurturers and we are mothers, and there are things we can tell the students which the men cannot. For example, on issues of early pregnancies or FGM, I have videos of women teachers who use song, to dance and tell them, do not touch me here, do not touch me here. Men cannot do that. So there's a lot that we need to do. And also, model as role models for girls, because the gender inequality is still there.
Yes, I do agree with you definitely when you say that there are things that a female teacher can discuss with a girl that a male teachers cannot. But, given the things you have seen, whether it be the progress and the challenges in the system itself of not having women teachers, what do you ask as an association, both the government, the society, and especially the private sector, because they also have private schools and so forth. What do you advise that they do to bring more teachers on board?
Yeah, as an association, in fact, we have managed even to become members of the Private Sector Alliance organization, and also the government allows us, although we cannot call out teachers on a strike, we are allowed to advocate and negotiate on behalf of these teachers, and we advocate very strongly. So to help in this process, what we normally do, like now in terms of promotion, we write concept papers, and to the Teacher Service Commission, we have insisted that the promotion should be 50-50, so long as the female teacher is qualified. And we have also insisted that the female teachers be given a breastfeeding center when they have, small babies. Okay, it is the law, but it is not being implemented because there is no woman pushing for it. But the association has already written, actually, even to Parliament. And since it is the law, we want it to be brought by a parliamentarian so that we see these things happen. And when we support these teachers, I heard you talking about women going to school. When we support them, even in fact in their education, then we provide more role models for our girls. It is hard to find a child right now. If you ask them, what do you want to become? Girls will not tell you they want to become teachers. It's because they have not seen that role modeling. And that is the reason why the association it was time for it to come up.
Thank you so much, Ms. Opande. Thank you. We really appreciate you joining us. Ms. Penter Opande is the General Secretary and CEO of Kenyan Association, a welfare organization that enhances standard living for women teachers by providing avenues for professional, economic, and personal development. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So it's time to highlight a champion in the teaching profession. Every day, African women on the continent and in the diaspora are doing extraordinary things, and we highlight their contribution in a segment called Women to Watch. Our woman to watch for this episode is a Kenyan teacher, Millicent Cassians. She is one of the top 50 finalists for this year's prestigious Varkey Foundation Global Teacher Prize 2023. The dedicated educator stands to win $1 million for transforming the lives of neglected children with special needs in her village of Karunga. Her journey from a small village to founding BL Teza Special School for the Deaf is a demonstration of her unwavering commitment to inclusive education. The Kenyan teacher was chosen from over 7,000 nominations and applications received from over 130 countries around the world. Well, she is already a winner in our book too, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Don't you sometimes wish that you also start teaching?
Well, imagine out of 7,000, she got the award. So that means she did something.
Having that kind of impact. You know, when you are a teacher, you are working with young minds, with the future generation. So being able to build a strong, community, a strong future is something I think it's the most proud profession, right?
If I can go back to the very point that she made about, women teachers communicate better with girls. And we know that the school dropouts for girls because of things like menstrual cycle is an issue. So just that one point itself means that we need more women teachers.
So you are going to be a teacher at some point, even
I
after
wish.
retirement?
I could, yeah. Why not? I have the motherly love, that I can provide.
Yeah, I mean, as a mother of three, we are also teachers,
Yeah,
right?
we're a teacher
At home.
every day. But the point that strikes me is the fact that they want women leadership enough in their country. That
because
was,
they don't want to get to the top.
Exactly.
And they have to move from their families.
Right.
Yeah.
That is tough.
I feel like that gender gap in the leadership position also contributes to the low number of female teachers in schools because, I mean, obviously, when you have male-dominated leadership, they tend to recruit more.
But you know what? That's a packed situation. Can you imagine now wanting to get a promotion because you move away from your husband? But that means that your husband doesn't want to move with you.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't they want to get in that position? If it's a good opportunity and good money, then the husband, unless he has a really good job in the village, then he should move with the woman. So I think it's a lot to,
definitely it takes a village to build a community, right?
For sure.
And that's our show for this week. Thanks to our guest, Bentar Opandev of Kenya Women Teachers Association, our production team and reporters, and my co-host, Oriani Tangshaka and Ginny Niwa. And thank you all for tuning in. To catch up on the latest episodes of Our Voices or to stay up to date with news from around the continent, go to voaafrica.com or our YouTube channel. We will see you again next week with another exciting program. Be sure to continue the conversation on our social media platforms. Until then, thanks for watching.